Hello everyone, welcome to my platform. Today I'll be working with sinamay. I just want to use it to make a kind of hair fascinator. So I will be working with half yard of sinamay, feathers, elastic, and then this thing in my hand is called glitter. That's what they call it in the market. So it's reflective and it comes in different colors. You can have gold, silver, wine. I know it comes in different colors. And then this is art wire. Then I will be using bias. I will use scissors and some other things I will be using will come up during the video. Okay, so I first of all started by dividing the cinnamon into two. Remember I told you it's half yard, and then I'll fold it like I'm folding a tie, or you fold it in a triangular form. That's the best way you fold cinnamon to cut. So if you want to get the best out of cinnamon, that's the normal way you fold it. You fold it like a V, and then you begin to come up with the sizes that you want to work with. So I cut out the quarter. That's because I'm working with half. I divided the half into two. I got quarter, and then I shared the quarter into the triangular part, two different parts. Then I cut out the different sizes that I would be using. So now, let's see how I fold to get that particular pattern. So what we do, you like there are different ways you can style your cinnamon anyway. So the one I'm going to do now, I'm going to start by folding the two sides of this cinnamon. I'll fold the left, I'll fold the right, and then there will be a little space at the middle. So you don't fold it to rest on each other. So you fold it so that there will be a little space that would not allow them to touch at the middle. It is through that space that you will close it. It's just like a bias. So you can see it now. So it's like a bias. You know how bias look. There's always this difference, distance that will not allow it to touch. So when you create the bias, you now close it. And then normally you are supposed to iron, but why I'm using this process is that it's not everybody that can readily lay their hands on uh, iron to press or whatever. So if you use a steam iron, it will help you to stretch it, and it will flatten everything there. You will not even see the joining anymore. But since like in Africa, light is usually our issue, so we always find the easiest way out. So just by like running it through with the edge of the table and all of that, it will get it a little bit smooth, and it will close it as well, and help you to achieve what you want to achieve without having to use your pressing iron on it. So that part is ready. All right, so I have all the parts folded, and I have created that is, I've folded it into what I want. What I will now start doing is to start to create the patterns, or create the styles I want from it. So I'm creating bow. Some of the bows are double bow, and then some of them are single bow, which will allow me to place it in any direction as I begin to form or create the head fascinator. So to well, I just find out that I did not show how I folded the edges of the bow. So please let me explain it. Listen, the size you cut out, you are going to fold each of this edge twice. You fold the first, just take a very tiny part of the edge and fold it in the same line, huh? And then turn it again like you are hemming cloth. The tailors will understand better. And then you just rub it on the edge of the table, and you will come up with that. So I want to have a little bit of accessories underneath. So the accessories I'm using is bead. There's this bead they call sand bead. It has, so that sand bead has different sizes. So the one I'm using now, this one is very long. It's not as small as the normal size of the sand bead. So that's the one I'm using. I just want to use it to create a kind of accessories that I would be able to add underneath the. So like I said, I will be adding the accessories I'm creating right now underneath the fascinator before I'll place the design on the band. And the band I will be using is going to be a chain band. That chain, so the chain is what I'll be using the glitter for, and then I would also be using the elastic underneath so that it can be able to fit into the head and sit properly on the edge. So I'm just doing this one just to add a little bit of design. But one thing is this: if you are working with gold, because if you see what I'm doing now, I'm working with a gold bead wire and gold sand bead. So I'm supposed to work with a gold glitter, but I'm using this glitter, this silver glitter, for the purpose of these tutorials because I believe it's going to make the difference very clear for you viewers to see. Yeah, so you're supposed to work with a gold glitter and then a gold wire. But if you're working with silver, then you can go around silver or true. So it's very easy to work to create these accessories I'm creating now. You just use the bead wire. This is not a art wire, this is a bead wire. You just use the bead wire to fix in the beads and then begin to create branches from it. So when you fix the beads, you use the bead wire to twist it together. That will help you to hold it in place, and then you can create any pattern you want with it. But what I did was that I just created different branches from mine, and before you know it, I had a lot of it ready. So you can see the different ones I created. It's just going to create a kind of reflection underneath the fascinator. Okay, all right, so that is it. We are going to now go ahead to look at how we prepare the chain, how we work on the chain. We are going to talk about how we work on the chain. All right. So to work on the chain part, I started by cutting out a little piece of art wire. So that piece of art wire, I fold it together, use my plier to smoothen it, make sure that it is sitting properly, it's tight, it's not going to come up on its own. And then I'll now use my bias, which is the color of the work that I'm doing. I'm going to wrap it with the bias. After wrapping it with the bias, I will now fix the elastic to it. So what will happen now is that this particular art wire we are using now is what will give strength to the elastic. You know, you cannot just use some persons will say, why not use the breast tube on it, or why not use the chest wording on it. You cannot just use anything that can easily collapse to fix it. So that's the reason why we have to use the art wire. So after wrapping the art wire, I will now get breast tube, you know, that breast pad, and then cut it, wrap it with the same color of that's red, and then I will fix it on top of the art wire. So then there will be a solid base on which this uh, elastic, or should I say the chain, will be resting, because you know, as you wear it on the head and constantly pulling to put to fix on your head, pull to bring out, if you use anything that is not strong enough to hold it, it will not be able to work. So what I have here now is the art wire, the glitter, the elastic, and then um, breast tube. Of course, that's what I wrap to fix on top. And The breast tube I wrap to fix the uh, crilone on now. I wrapped two. So what I'll do is that I'll finish sewing, doing all my rough work on one, and then I'll finally use the other one to cover it up. So that will just be all for the tutorials. So the first thing I'm doing now is that I'm fixing the uh, what do I call it now, the embellishment I prepared by myself with the there's bead wire and the bead itself. So I'll fix it on the base first. So because I want the reflection of the embellishment at the front, I'm only concentrating it on the front of the fascinator. You don't need to fix it everywhere. So you know this is the part that will be facing front in this fascinator. That's where you concentrate the bead on. And of course you can make as many as you want. So you can have up to 10 different pieces, 15, depends on how big your fascinator is and how much you want the bead to appear. So now that I'm done with the bead, I just, the crilone, no, the cinnamon I have prepared already. I will just start to fix it on it. I'll just start fixing the cinnamon on it. So fixing the cinnamon is what I will just have to do gradually, placing it on my direction of choice. As you place, check it on your dummy to see the reflection you are getting, see the interpretation that is given on the head and all of that. So
How to put my phone there? Don't spend 5 minutes.
so that's just what you do on it.
Putting my phone there for
So you can see that after I am done putting everything, I just simply introduced the feather, the stick feather. This stick feather don't used to have any feathers on it. It's just that middle part of the feathers, and they sell it in the market. You get it at any color, and even if you cannot get colors, of course you can just buy a white or a cream color, and then you spray it to the color of choice. This particular one I'm using, I actually sprayed it to the color of choice. So so I'm just going to hang the spring on it because I prepared the spring and I know that you saw it while I was preparing the spring. So I just want to use it to stretch out that spring. That was the reason I actually fix it on the fascinator. So the next thing I would be doing is for me to fix the feathers, and that's what I am doing now. So I just don't want to put the feathers direct the way it came. So I decided to like chop some part of the feathers out, just like peel some part. I just want very, very little part of these feathers to be shown. So that's why I try to pull it out. That's simply say I redressed the feather. Redress it. So I have a video on how to redress feathers, trim feathers. I think it's on my channel, and if you're interested you can see it there. Because sometimes when you buy feathers from the market, you might not really get what you want, as in the pattern you are looking at. What will distinguish your work is the ability to put a little touch to the things that you are doing. So you can see the feathers is looking very different, and the interpretation also is very different. So for me it's okay. So this is where I did all my rough work, all the sewing. So I will just use the second breast tube that I wrapped with red to cover it up. So after covering it up, the work is done. So to cover it, you don't need to sew, you don't need to stress yourself. You can just simply use your hot glue to put it down. Just pour some hot glue inside, go around it, go around the circle and then fix it. It will cover every rough work you have done. So if you don't want to use sheen for this work, which is the glitter, you can actually work with headband. That's the princess band. You can work with princess band, and the only thing that will be different is you do not need an elastic, you do not need a glitter, but then you will be needing the headband for you to just fix the cinnamon and the accessories on. And of course it will still be necessary that you base the bottom of the fascinator before attaching it to the headband. So this is what I got. Remember I said for the purpose of the tutorials I used silver because I know that it will reflect more for you to see it. That's why I used silver. If not for the fact that I worked with a gold bead, I mean I'm supposed to work with a gold glitter. So that's it. That's all. Bye.